Hello. Hi. Oh my gosh, how is this looking? How about I turn that lamp down? Hmm. Alexa, office 20%. That should help. There we go. That's better. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the green room. It used to be all green, that color green, but I painted the wall blue because I love blue. Um, oh my gosh, my pictures are so crooked. On the other side of that wall is my laundry room slash bathroom, and we had that demoed into one room. Yeah, they bounded on the walls a little bit. Oh well, we're gonna live with it. We're gonna roll with it. How is everyone? Monique Renee here, a photographer from Silver Paw Studio, and it has been a minute since I live streamed. It's been since last year, honestly. I was live streaming every week for a while there, doing a like a challenge, trying to post some kind of video every single day, November and December of 2020, which I did. I hope you enjoyed all of those videos. Back to doing my Friday regularly scheduled video. It's produced. So I hope you're enjoying those as well. And we're going to do these live stream kind of Q&As once a month now. And I really thought I would do one in January, but it's it's only February 1st. It's fine. Diana, hey, hi, hello. Thank you for making it. I know you may not have to be able to stay the whole time. Awesome. So this, I love doing these Q&As. Sometimes we get deep into topics and sometimes we touch lightly on many things. I am open to whatever you want to talk about. I do like doing a bit of a theme sometimes to these, but the only thing I can come up with was, we can talk about my last videos about equipment, stuff like that. I did film my lighting equipment 2021 this weekend, but it was so long. The video is so long because I kind of over explained everything that I'm going to post that not this Friday, but the next Friday because I need more time to potentially refilm it or cut it to get it over to my editor and get it up online for you. So this Friday is going to be a different video. Do you want to know what this Friday's video is going to be? Diana, let me know. Let me see. I want to make sure that you all know other places you can find me and ask questions and be part of the ProPet photography community. One easy way is with our free Facebook group, and that is bit.ly ProPet Photog Face FB. You got to type it in just like that. So please join us over there, and we love to talk over there, and we can share pictures, links, stuff like that. And I also want to make sure that you can be on the email list. So if you're like, hey, I didn't know Monique was going live today, you would have known on Friday morning when you got the ProPet Photog email. Yeah. And so I just go a little bit deeper into what I talked about this week on the video and some other topics. And so that's kind of a nice brief email to pop into your email on Friday mornings. So I wanted to make sure, please be microphones. Is my microphone not on? Can you hear me? Oh, snap. Can you hear me now? It's right here. I probably shouldn't do that because it says it's on. Diana, let me know if you can hear me. What else? Yeah, I think that's about it. If you do want to direct message me, here's my email. It's on the about page here on YouTube anyway. So that is my email. And I do get emails from all of you, and I love those. And I do send back very detailed replies. So be prepared. You asked what video you should be doing next Friday. You said yes. Oh, no. Oh, okay. I know, right? I do talk about all of the audio gear I have on a video I did in the fall. And that's under all the video gear playlist. I don't know if it has a microphone that'll really work for you, Diana. That's my biggest. I'm trying to think about how to help you on that. This is here. I hope this doesn't mess up the audio, everybody. But this is what I have now. This is my podcasting microphone on one of those arms, and it has a base. Ugh. can't get the cord long enough. Okay. So it's got a heavy base and a long arm, but you don't have to get the base. You can get it to screw onto a table or surface. So that's, I don't know. That might work for you, Diana, because then it can be up above. I think that might be the best bet for you. A squirrel. Right? Catherine, hello, welcome. We're doing a Q&A here. You can ask me anything. We can chit chat. It does look like a Yeti Snowball, but it's not. It's just a Shure microphone. It's like $80. I got it down at Guitar Center way back when I first started my podcast about 2.5 years ago. And also, Diana, this is really nice. I don't remember which Shure microphone this is. What I'll do is I'll go over on my second screen here and get that link for you, because this can be, it can hook up to a phone. It can hook up to USB, this type of microphone. And it's directional. So you're only picking up what's right here in front, nothing back here. So it might do a little better for you. Let me go over to the other screen I have and find that for you. Catherine, how are you today? Let me take my name off the screen here. We don't have to see that forever. Maybe not. Oh, no, that's my email. Okay, where to go? Here it goes. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. So Diana, I'm just going to go on over to my channel here and find that video for you. And it was all like in the fall last year, I did an entire playlist and all my different video gear, and audio was one entire video. Here it is. Oh my gosh. I got almost no views to this. Okay. Make sure it stops. Stop. Okay. Where'd the chat go? Here it is. Okay. All right. Oh, yes. My podcast is called Tales with Tails. Like you can see in that sign, that actually says, do all of your tails have tails? That's, oh my gosh, my pictures are so crooked from the construction. Okay. Bye, Diana. Great. That sounds good. And so I've been doing that podcast for a while. I took a break at the holidays and I'm ready to start my next season. So if you're interested, Catherine, the last season I did was all a peek behind the paw. And every week I would just recount what happened in my life and my business that week. So that iteration of my podcast, I really like. It's kind of what I wish other people offered. Like sometimes I kind of just want to know, really, how is your life behind the scenes? Because sometimes when we just see each other on a 1 hour live stream or my 10 or 20 minute video or a Snapchat or whatever, you don't really get an idea really of what people's life is like, So I don't know. I thought it might be interesting. I talk about different things happening because as a solopreneur, kind of everything melts together. Wouldn't you say? Like your personal life and your business life, they're intertwined. They can't come undone. At least for me, I'm all in with my business. So that's what I talked about on the Tales with Tails podcast. Am I missing a letter? Did they pound so hard on my wall that the letter fell down? Oh my gosh, it did. There's the letter that should be in there. Do you get it? Okay. The other side of that wall is some construction, so everything was wonky. But Catherine, do you have questions today? Do you want to chit chat? I did a video on Friday all about all the different camera gear that I have. So if you have questions about that while it's fresh in everybody's mind. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So catch up on that. I tried to just make them conversational. Really, all I do, Catherine, is I've got my audio booth that I made. So it sounds real good. I have my booth and I throw this little microphone in there and I just turn on my audio program and start talking. And I just say, this is how my week went. These are my challenges. These are my wins. And it's very conversational. So I hope you like it. If you wanted to really go back in time, it started off with my tales. So Tales with Tales are animal stories. You probably have guessed. And all the different, the season one was all kinds of stories that I told about animal encounters, mostly pets. And then I did a couple of seasons that were having guests on the show. So I'd take this microphone with me and I would just gather other people's tales, or I did Zoom calls for friends that I have not around here. And I heard all of their fun tales with tales. And then for about a year, I was co host on a radio show here, and that was called Critter Patter. And we were all interview style. So I went up to their nice, really nice studio. I have a video from a year ago that shows that studio of the radio station. Pretty cool. But then when the pandemic hit, it was just, I could I could interview people from afar, of course, still on Zoom, but it just didn't feel as high quality for the radio and it was difficult to schedule. So I retired from the radio show and I still do. I'm supposed to do one today. I'm supposed to do sponsor spots sometimes. So I'll voice over the ad for them. And then when I stopped doing the radio show, I wasn't quite sure what direction I wanted to go. And that's when I started doing the Peek Behind the Paw. So it's really a playground for me over there. I don't have a big strategy on what to do with a podcast. I have very little social media that's just for fun. I tend to make it all into business or pet things of some sort. So there you go. The rundown you didn't even ask for about the Tales of Tales podcast. Yes. So there's that. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I feel like I'm on all the things. So when I'm interviewed, recently I've been on 2 different shows. I think I posted it in the Facebook group. Catherine, I hope you're in the Facebook group. Let me know if you're not. Let me find the bit.ly link. Here we go. Here's the Facebook group. I think I posted in there and I did definitely post it on the email list, which is the same thing with now, one has FB on the end. So it was Dingle Days, dog training. She does mostly training. Dingle Days here on YouTube, and she has a really well produced podcast as well. And so I was an interview guest for her, and I was a guest on my editor's show, Epic Kate. And I can't remember where I'm going with this, but anyway, so sometimes I'm asked to do interviews, and I get asked all kinds of random things. I don't know where I was going with this. I already forgot because I couldn't remember what I was just saying. I had some pistachios, but maybe I need some more. Oh, I say I'm all the same things. That's what I was going to say. So when I'm on an interview, sometimes they'll say, okay, so where can people find out more about you? And I pretty much say, well, I'm on all the things at Silver Paw Studio. So that's where I was going with that. I knew it would come to me. Oh my gosh. And sometimes on these live streams, I'll do a screen share and show you the animals that I photographed at the shelter. I was at they changed their name. They're Animal Friends now. I was at the shelter today and photographed 3 adorable little puppies. Well, they weren't puppies, but they're little dogs. 3 puppers at the shelter today. So sometimes I show my Lightroom screen too. You are? Okay, cool. Very good, Catherine. Yay. Yeah. So I haven't set up that screen share, but I certainly could. I just need to move it over to my other monitor here. I like having 2 monitors, but I can't seem to get it to work. Hello, keep going. There you go. You got this. Do you talk to your computer too? Okay, then. I think it would be fun to show the 3 dogs. I just want to do this one. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Let me get this screen to go away. We don't need this screen. Yeah. What do you think of that? So these are the 3 dogs. I've already edited these and sent them off. Let me make this full screen for you. So they were so cute. This one, I have the name around here somewhere, but this little guy, so tiny. We did this one. These are already edited, pretty basic edit. Their adoption software now takes a 1-to-1 ratio, square crop photos. So I make sure I send them over square. They used to be more of an 8:10 ratio. Got a couple little scabs on his ears, but I didn't edit them out because I wasn't sure if they wanted me to. And this little thing, this looks like a chow, and a golden retriever together, but it's really small, like 30 pounds. I don't know. What do you think? Kind of has like the whole goalie body, but it definitely had a purple tongue. Kitty patootie. Fun dog, though. They look intense, but they're really fun. Cute, right? And then this pup was so shy, super shy. This was cute. You could see like the paw up, when they do that when they're so shy. And then hi. That one I just thought was funny. He went and sat on one of the little beds out there. One ear up, one ear down. Looking, I think, distinguished, though. Come on. I love figuring out captions like, hello, have you turned in your TPS report yet? And then this shows what a snuggle bug. That's the volunteer coordinator was helping. Hey, Patty, welcome. I was just running through some of the pictures I took at the shelter today. This dog was so scared during the photos. Well, it doesn't look too bad on these two, but like there you can kind of tell a little bit scared and got a little bit of a tuck going on there. So I thought it would be nice to show them snuggling because they just stood there like that while we finished up and we were chatting for a couple minutes and he just like snuggled right in. That's where he wants to be. So I sent those off to him too because they sometimes like using that. And that's the volunteer coordinator. She's on staff there. So I just said, hey, that would be really cute. I'll take that picture. She's okay. I know there's always a little bit of a question on having people in your photos. And so you got to walk that line a little bit and make sure that everyone is comfortable with it. Especially because you're not just taking a picture for you, you're taking that picture to maybe share it on social media to hundreds of other people. So you got to be okay with that. And Haley definitely was. Yeah. And the yellow pupper. Here you go, Patty. I'm going to show them so Patty can see. And they're also adorbs. Hello. Sometimes I go there and they don't get littles in very often. And when they do, I think, oh, by the time I edit these and send them, they'll already be adopted. Should I edit? But it takes me half-hour drive to get there. So I said, yeah, let's just photograph them. I just realized how pretty the backlight is on this pup. Yeah. Yeah. He looks like he's wearing eyeliner there too. Just very distinct. And this dog was so friendly. Obviously loved to dance for treats. Yeah. Yeah, it's cute. Aren't they cute? Yeah. That was fun. Patty, look at how all my pictures are crooked. The other side of that wall, there's been all this construction and banging around, and I didn't realize how crooked those were. Oh my gosh. So, yes, I got to the shelter today. Last week, they had adopted out any of them that I needed to photograph. So I didn't go last week. Frank is still covering the cat side of this shelter. And he's only had a couple lately too. He borrowed my table setup. If you all have seen, I'm sure you have, it's one of my most popular videos, the tabletop studio. So he borrowed that to do a project for them. And so hopefully I'll, see him again. We weren't able to coordinate. So I just left it at the one campus for him. Yeah. Why are there bows on them? Because it's adorable. I am all about bow ties. And I think it just kind of spruces up the look on the adoption pictures. A lot of times I use bandanas because it's so easy, but little dogs, the bandana covers all their legs and everything. So sometimes I use little flowers. And sometimes it's these collars with the flowers or the bow ties. I love bow ties. They're flashy, or other ties. What else? What's really fun is that if I've shown you pictures of dogs that have like this little flower garland, what those are is you go down to a little, like a kid's jewelry shop. What are those called? There's a name for that here in the US. Claire's Boutique. It's like a kid's jewelry place. And you just get baby headbands, like infant newborn people headbands. And they're perfect for little dogs and cats as a little like flower thing. Yeah. That was Zane. And yeah, my pictures are, it's not just us. Haven't heard from your shelter. I know. It was almost 50 degrees today. So we were able to be outside. Obviously, we both wore masks and we have all this room in this fenced in yard. So that's really nice. Um, yeah, we haven't changed protocol yet, which I'm kind of surprised about. I don't know. Yeah, your shelter is really, really careful too, Patty. So that's good. Have you? Sorry, I keep more water. Um, have you been able to connect with any of the fosters and meet with them? Because that would be okay as an outdoor thing, I would think. But I don't know. Every city, every county is on their own little schedule of what you can do and not do. It's hard to keep up, isn't it? So I don't know. My bangs are driving me crazy as per usual. What else we got going on? Okay, so if anyone has any questions about the camera gear video I did Friday, I'm open to talking about that. I was saying a few minutes ago that I've filmed my lighting gear video, but it's really long. And so I'm trying to figure out how to cut it down or cut it to a point where my editor can make more sense of it, or just refilm it, because I don't want to be boring. I don't want to tell you stuff you already know, you know? So I'm putting off the lighting video. It's going to be this Friday, but I just want to make it a little more streamlined for you all. So this Friday, who wants to know what this Friday's video is? It's almost completely edited. I talked to my editor this morning or this afternoon. Raise a paw if you want me to tell you what this Friday's video is going to be. It's great to see you all, by the way. Happy New Year's. We haven't seen each other here on YouTube Live since December. Yeah, I thought I would go live in January, and then poof, January was gone. What happened? Where'd you go? Okay, so y'all raise your paw if you want to know what this Friday's video is. It's a little bit, it's fun. You'll like it. And then we'll do my lighting gear for 2021. So that'll be the next week. And then we're going to celebrate, because I am just about at a big YouTube milestone here with 1,000 subscribers. Okay, let me check my phone. Tell me if I'm being rude, but let me check. I want to know where I'm at. I'm in the wrong account. That's where I'm at. Switch account. Let's go over here. Okay, I am 13 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers, which will enable me to get that community tab where I can post questions and photos, and we can share even more in there. So if you know other pet photographers that might enjoy this channel, I'm 13 away from that big milestone. And so in about 3 weeks, I'm going to have a big party, and we're going to do some party photos. Yeah, I was just kind of figuring out how to do this today and talking to my editor. So we're going to have a party in like 3 weeks to celebrate that huge, huge milestone. I'm excited about that. And then I'm going to get to my step-by-step process for my workflow at the shelters. I know I've been talking about this. I want to make it where it's not a million years long, because the actual process takes 2 or 3 hours. Let's say an hour for travel, an hour for the photos, and an hour for editing and uploading and everything. Yeah, I don't want to take 3 hours of your time, but I want to show you exactly how I've done it, because I think I've got a pretty good process, and it's very different for the cat campus versus the dog campus where I volunteer at. So I will be making those videos as well. So that's what's coming up. Yeah. Christoph. I just scanned over it. What's Christoph? Hi, I'm about to buy a Canon 35mm 2.8 for dog photography. Oh, I do think that's a good option. I love the German Shepherd picture. Oh my gosh, I have a heart for German Shepherds. I just don't have the time for them. So I have my fluffy little thing. Yeah, I think a 35mm would be fantastic. Now do you have a crop sensor camera? Because you have a crop sensor, that's pretty much your nifty 50 right there. I think that's a nice interim. It doesn't look too wide. Like when you're looking at the pictures, they don't look super distorted with a 35, but you also can have some more room around your subject, especially if you have a style where you want to show more of the environment. A 35 would be great, and you don't have to be too far. I could probably make what's it called? I could probably stick up for any lens though. I could be like, well, this lens could be used for this and this lens could be used for that. I can make a case. I can make a case for almost any lens, but I think 35 would be great. When I first started my studio, I had a 50 on a full frame. I had a 50 mil and an 85 mil, and that's it. That's all I had for 2 or 3 years. So you can make it work. Yeah. Depends on like your budget and your style. Patty, I've been so busy trying to contact On1 about my software problems. It's literally taken a lot of free time. Today I requested a refund. I have given up. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I hope they refund it. That just sounds so frustrating. I'm really sorry because that's that back in the day. I don't know, whenever they started 6 or 8 years ago, I tried them, but I only tried like their portrait plugin. So yeah, they were trying. But I think learning curves are going to be with any software, obviously, but you're going to have a lot more help with Lightroom for sure. Christoph, yes, I have. Oh, I've already forgot what I asked you. Yes, you have for which part? Crop sensor? If crop sensor, then yeah, that'd be great. What other lenses do you have? I would say get something very different from what you have now, or just kind of like think about your style. So there's that too, and how much space you have to work in. I know sometimes when I'm thinking about a lens for my studio, I have just enough room for that 70 to 200 because it's just not that big a studio. And then at the cat shelter, it's really small too, but I can like back up all the way to the window. But it would be better to have like a 50. Oh, crop sensor. Okay. Yeah. So then it's like a 50. I mean, that's going to be fantastic. Yeah, I think that'll be really good, which is what we kind of call a normal lens. It's kind of how our eyes see things. So no distortion. And the 2.8 will be pretty good. It won't be as shallow as you think it will be. So if you're trying to get the really buttery background, that you need to combine it with a zoom a little bit, but it'll still be beautiful. And honestly, like with your German Shepherd, you go much lower than a 2.8, not like what's going to be in focus. The nose is going to be blurry and the eyes are going to be in focus, or which way. It's nice to have like their whole head in focus, I personally think. So I think you'll do well with that. Let me know though. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Ooh, what do you got? What do you got? A 51.8, 24 to 105, 4, 18 to 35, and the kit lens. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. You're doing great. You could even go even wider because a 35 and a 50 are different. Now, if you have a small space you work in, that'd be great, but you have the 24 already, but it is f4. It's probably variable too. The 51.8, that must be fun. I had that for a long time, something similar. And yeah, let me think here. The 18 to 135 and the kit lens, you're just not going to get as much aperture out of those. Yeah, I think 35 would be good. Or if you wanted to get an even wider one, if you wanted a lot of variety. So like in my studio, what I'll often do is I use my 70 to 200 a lot. That's pretty much on my camera all the time. But usually at the end of the session, I'll put on my wide, my 17 to 28, I think it is. I don't know. Let me get out of the bag. I can't even remember what I have. I think it's like that 17 to 28. And I'll put it on like 17 and I'll look straight down and you get that bobblehead and their heads look big and the grass is all distorted. You have an extremely distinct look from anything else you photographed that day. So I might have that compressed depth of field, really pretty portrait with the 70 to 200 and the field behind him and all that creaminess. But then at the very end, I'll throw on that wider angle and get that little bobblehead or get like all 4 dogs because you can do the treat above them and you could be nice and close. So it's just different. It's just what you want to do for your style, you know? So you have a lot of good lenses though. Yeah. Yeah. So you could pretty much take on all kinds of things. What I would miss in your kit is that 200. I would really miss having that. I have the 70 to 200 2.8. And I don't use it too often, but sometimes, like that dog session I did not too long ago, and it had 6 dogs and a cat, and it can be chaotic. But what happened was when I was doing the individual dogs, at one point it was just me and the owner and the dogs in a big yard. So we didn't have extra helpers. And so I could just like zoom through some of the other dogs to get that individual portrait of of each dog. So instead of trying to put 5 dogs away and work with one, we could just kind of work around those. And so having the zoom was really helpful. Or if we're running in a field or the dog is really shy, I like having the extra reach of a longer lens. But again, Christoph, it's kind of up to your style. And there are a lot of dog photographers who really, really love the wide angle bobblehead. A lot of them are at sunset with the really colorful sky, and they've got a speed light on them. So there's all kinds of styles, and some of them you need particular lenses for. So, oh my gosh, I could go on, right? Yeah. And Patty, just so you know too, when you're talking about editing software, I don't have too many. I think you follow that TogSpot, and she's got a ton of tutorials on Photoshop and Lightroom. And I just have a couple. I have a couple things on Lightroom. She covers them pretty well. And that's, I think we're the only two pet specific, but there's all kinds of other resources for you. And, you know, I'm always open to new ideas for videos, so let me know. Was anyone interested in what the video was going to be on this Friday? I think Catherine might have been. If not, we can move on. We can talk about other things. I usually allot about an hour for these live streams, so we're only half through. Any other questions, I am super happy to answer. I should have been a little more prepared to have more things to show you. I mean, we looked at the dogs I photographed today, so that's fun. Let's see. Any more catch up? I am still at my studio. I decided I'm going to look at that maybe quarterly, although we're already a month into this year and I can't imagine not having a studio. So probably going to keep that. So I'm still there. I've been doing a lot of work there while they're pounding away on the room on the other side of this. Bay and I go to the studios on the weekends. Yeah. And you'll find this, Joe. Yes, you need to hide it with his leg. See my dog there? Position yourself and these dogs, any of these dogs, position where their leg is in blocking the view. Try a different angle. Make sure there's grass in front of them, something like that. A lot of dogs, young dogs, excited dogs, they do get that red rocket. Honestly, I edit it out sometimes. Our eye is drawn to bright spots and red. So you may have to edit, but really the best way is to position yourself so their leg is right in front and you're good. That's the easiest. Misty, I have camera insurance. Just found out that theft isn't insured. Oh no. And they have rules about what they pay when you let it fall. It's for personal use, but it's €2,500. Yeah, right. Should you stop your camera insurance? Are those the two things that you're most worried about? Is that theft and dropping? Like if those are the two things you think are most likely to happen, here's what people do in the US is they assume that their house insurance, like if you own your house insurance will cover that. It won't if you're a pro. If you make any money with your gear, this is what I understand, consult the experts, it will not. So a lot of photographers just go, whatever, my house insurance, my car insurance, whatever, will cover it, and it doesn't. I think it is a good idea. I have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in gear when you talk about lighting and cameras and lenses and microphones, and because I do video too, so much gear. And so it's definitely worth it to me, but you could just switch insurance companies too. If you have a photography association there where you're at in the UK, over here in the US, we have PPA, Professional Photographers of America. And when you're a member of that, you pay a monthly fee to be a member, but you also get $15,000 in equipment insurance. So there, with any kind of insurance, there's a deductible, but it's like a $250 deductible. So that's nice. And you just have to make sure of what's covered. I have 2 levels of insurance for myself. I have that PPA equipment insurance, but I also have insurance through another company that has liability and some other things and also covers my equipment for those different things. And they have different levels. So you might talk to your insurance company and say, whoa, 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 hey, I need to cover theft and dropping damage. How can you add that for me? I would just say, Misty, that's a big investment that you call them and say, what do you got? Or if that doesn't work, if they don't have any coverage for you, talk to a professional photography association. Or I don't think, like, I was president of my camera club for a couple of years and we didn't have any resources like that, but you might find out what other people are using. Cause yeah, you definitely, I dropped my dad's camera lens once. Oh, he still gives me a hard time about that. And that was probably 30 years ago. Yeah. So I think it is a good idea. That's really forward thinking of you to have equipment insurance, even if you say it's just personal worth. You don't know. Like, you have other things in your life insured that are worth money and that you'd like to have replaced. And when you look at just, a $250 deductible versus $2,500 to replace everything, or euros, then it seems kind of worth it. Right? Yeah. All right. And then, oh, hey, Daryl Lynn, you are online. I can't wait for you to start posting again. Hello. Yay. Oh, you haven't dropped a camera? Ooh, you might. I mean, I think we all do at some point. I was filming a few months ago here at home. I did this Bailey's Midnight Snack Nightmare. I just wanted to do a short film, and I had my camera on a gimbal sitting on the ground. And when she ran past it, she nicked it, like she brushed against it just lightly, and the whole thing fell over my gimbal and my camera. Oh my gosh. Luckily, it was on the carpet. It was like sitting down on the tripod. And you know what? The little cord that comes with it did break, but it's still usable. I probably should replace that. Anyway, yes, at one point you will. The wind, tripod leg will just go, whoop, I'm done. So it's a really good idea, Misty, to look into it for sure. Just like anything else that you have expensive in your life that you want to protect and replace immediately. If you don't have the funds in the bank, I would get some kind of insurance for sure. I'm also, Darylyn, I'm real glad you haven't dropped a camera. Good. You have probably gotten better tripods than me or not set up in the wind. What else we got going on here? Oh, Joe, you tried to photoshopping, but it's a bit awkward looking at it for so long. I know, and you just kind of like, I photograph so many rescue dogs that I just go and do it just like anything else. Like if cats have eye boogies and, they have maybe a sore on their side and then they have red rockets and you just edit them away. You'll get used to it. It's one of those things. If you want to sell a picture, you don't want that on there because they will not buy it. And it's also nice in the adoption pictures too, to not have them. Yeah. Morgan, I never found out how your Santa pictures went. You must tell us. We need to know. Okay. And I know some people are planning on Valentine's photo sessions. Who's doing Valentine's? It totally slipped by me. I know we talked about it. We talked about it in our Facebook group. I never did one. Oh, yes. Panda. Alpacas can carry loads of camera equipment. And you know what I love? I love my red wagon. And it carries so much camera gear and lighting gear and dog treats and water. And it's always in my videos if I'm doing something outside. I just love it. Oh, yes. Panda, we were talking about boy dogs. When they're excited, how can we hide their excitement a little bit more? You didn't. Okay. I wondered because of the pandemic. And that's what we were talking about too with the Valentine's pictures, Morgan. Like, what are you supposed to do? How can you do some of these mini sessions and still be safe with all the cases going up? I know we're going to be in a different place in a few months. I'm hoping by like the end of summer, many people will be vaccinated. My husband works in a medical place. And so he's had his first vaccine, gets the next one Friday. I'm way down the list. I'm probably May, June. And my daughter keeps calling me, when do you think you'll come out? Because her baby's due in 2 weeks. I was like, as soon as it's safe, And so, yeah, I just haven't planned any type of like mini session event. I was thinking about that today. If you watch my video on 9 alternatives, I think it was, to studio spaces, and I talked about a greenhouse, I could maybe get away with something there because it's like this big store inside kind of a greenhouse. It's beautiful. And I could maybe do something there if it was scheduled out with gaps in between and back in the back corner. I might be able to do the spring me pictures I usually do in March, but I haven't actually talked to them about it yet. So it's tough, isn't it? It's rough. But Morgan, you do have a ton of things in place for next year, right? Didn't you learn so much? You'll be like, I got this next year. Yeah. Catherine, you're going to try it with your cats. Uh-oh, I'm already past that. What are we talking about? Let's see. By the way, I can do Lightroom as I have the last perpetual license of Lightroom. Wow. Okay, good. You're on board. Yeah. And Zane, working on a Valentine, right? Meow. Zane, okay. So here is a person that's a good example of how you can incorporate some of these themes without taking the pictures in those settings. So Zane is in the Facebook group. Let me put that banner up because we get Zane puts in so many cool edits. So really good at just like adding graphics and effects and all kinds of interesting things to the photos. So you could take a picture of your cat and just put all the sparkles and everything around it. Yeah. And then you have a Valentine's picture or something like that. And I know some photographers did something similar during the last half of 2020. What was the one where they dressed them up as characters from across the ages? There was an app of some kind, or they painted it. I can't remember. So clients and people could send in photos of their dogs or cats, and they could say, I'd like it to look like, a queen from the 1800s. I don't know. And then they dressed them all up and put a dark background behind them, and it looks so cool. Some people cartooned the pet pictures they already had. It was kind of a fun thing. Oh, for Valentine's, Catherine. Okay. Yeah. Did you see? Oh no. Has it been 2 years now? 2 years ago, I did the cat kissing booth just out of cardboard box and Sharpies and paper. That was kind of fun because I thought, what do cats already like? They already like boxes and beds. That'll probably work. And it sure did. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Be sure to put it in the Facebook group too. Yeah, and then check out the Facebook group because Zane always puts his zany. I want to say he, right, Zane? Zany photos in there. All with all the different edits. What was the one that you did with the cat at the grocery store with a tiny, tiny cart? It was hysterical. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Sorry, I keep looking. I see the comments over here on my screen. So I'm just watching the comments here. I don't want to miss anything. How is everyone's new year? Can you believe we're already in February? What else do you have planned? If you remember a few months ago, probably summer last year, I did publish a video about all the different ways that you could be working on your business when it's a slow time. And in any year, Papadilla. In any year, it's a little bit slow for a lot of portrait photographers in January. So a lot of times that's when the big photography conferences are. They're Q1. They're in the first quarter generally, because that's a great time to take time off from your normal everyday and attend a conference or a course or whatever it is. And then you're set for the rest of the year. So that's why a lot of those during this time of year. And so this is a good time to just kind of look at your everything that you're doing and say, okay, do I need to upgrade equipment? Do I need to add a lens like we were talking about earlier? What do I want to look into a new way to edit or a new program to edit in? Do I want to start planning if I could do a mini session, what would it be? And then not only that, like Catherine's saying, we're working on our actual photo sets, but if you were to offer this as a mini session to people, how would you do that on the back end? Would you make that a Facebook event? Would you put it on your website? Would it be through Eventbrite? Would it be in conjunction with a rescue or a cause? These are all the things that if you can think about those ahead of time, when you actually go to implement, you'll be ready. So there's a ton of stuff you could be doing in the slower times which I know has felt like a really long time because it has been a long time. Let's be real. But it's also, just a good way to kind of keep our mind in the game. And part of the reason I'm so thankful I can still get to the shelters is about this time of year I go, do I even remember how to use my camera? Have you ever done that? Like it's between like Christmas and New Year's and you haven't done any client sessions or any sessions at the shelter or however long. And you're like, I'm not even sure if I can remember how. You get this like moment of doubt. So keeping up on your skills and using your cameras, even if it's for your own pets, I know, but you could learn all these things and, even paperwork side, whatever it is. I'll probably be doing a video on how I organize stuff here on my whiteboard. I'm pointing out my whiteboard. Somebody pointed it out in one of the videos I did. And she's like, wait, can you tell us about your whiteboard? I said, what? What do you mean? And I had to watch back through that video to realize what she was talking about. I had shown my whiteboard. And I'm on the verge of redesigning how I organize everything on there. So yeah. All right. Morgan, upgraded your D610 to a D750 and have a couple of lenses in mind this year. Ooh, exciting. And that's on the Nikon side. Anyone in here that's a Sony shooter, did you see the freaking crazy announcement about the A1? Oh. I told Steve I am this close to tempted to selling 2 of my cameras to get that one because it looks sweet. It looks like something I could use for stills and video. Bam. But it's so expensive. It's the same as 2 of their other cameras. So that's the big complaint right now. Like, are you serious right now, Sony? Wow. Come on. Okay, so but back to Morgan, what lenses are you considering? Ooh, we want to know. Yeah. Yes. There hasn't been a lot of videos about it yet because I saw one person, I think it was Jared Frono's photo. He said that they were asked to not release very many hands-on videos, although I saw Tony and Chelsea already did about the A1, but we'll start to see them now because I know there's some people who had their hands on it, like Jason Vong. So we're going to start seeing some hands-on real soon. And I just can't even watch. I can't because I know I'm going to want it. And I've pretty much spent my budget for camera gear already. So probably shouldn't be doing that. It's called GAS, everybody. Gear Acquisition Syndrome. It's a Sony. It's Sony Alpha 1. Oh my gosh, Panda. You look at that and go, nope, no thanks. $6,500. No. I mean, I'm looking at it how long have I wanted them to put an A7R3 together with an A9 II? And it looks like they did it. So why don't I just sell those 2? Bam, melt them together, ta-da, into the A1. Come on. I think that would be phenomenal. But I do want to see some real world first because I heard a rumor that maybe there's some overheating in it too. 8K. Okay, I don't need 8K. So there's that. You got cut off. Right now I film in 4K, but I pre-edit to send it to my editor in 1080p because that's what I need for YouTube. Now I edit my own client videos still. So those are still, whatever quality and, stuff that I want or that I've sold. So my editor is just doing YouTube at this point. So it's just so much easier to send it over the internet as a 1080p and it's easier on her computer. Okay. This is what you want. You want the trifecta also. 24-70 2.8, 70-200 2.8, and the Sigma 35. Yeah, we were just talking about a 35. Yeah. Those would be great. Okay. I've had my 24-70 for less than a month now, and I've barely used it. I need to use it. So I think in my celebration video, that's the lens I'm going to use. Because Morgan, I don't know if you were here, but I am this close to being at that 1,000 subscriber milestone on YouTube. And I really want to make a thank you video to everyone. And so Bay and I are going to party it up at the studio and we're going to photograph it. So we're going to have some cool party photos and I'll walk you through the whole process of doing that. So I think that's when I'll use that 24-70. Yay. It's been too long since I posted a video of actually doing the craft of photography, and you all are probably ready to see that. I know I'm ready to do that. Yeah. Yeah, Sony. So I can't wait to do another like in the studio tutorial. I'm really excited to do that. I love sharing that kind of thing with you. It's something I always wished I could be behind the scenes. I think that's why Creative Live is just so popular, is you get to see all of that behind the scenes. I know. Thank you, Morgan. I'm so close. It's taken me 2 full years. I started the first week of January of 2019. Yeah, so it's taken me a minute, but here we are. We're so close. And then I'll have that little community area we can chat on too. And that's where I can put maybe some reminders of, hey, by the way, I'm going live, which from now on will be once a month here. So obviously ask your questions away whenever you want in the Facebook group. And if when you're on that the email, here's the email. You can always shoot me an email too. So whether it's in response to that or just in general, there you go. Those are all open and available to you. And of course, in the Facebook group. I do have this Instagram, but I've been so bad about what to post there. I took a selfie of me and Bay and a camera. So that's the new picture over there. Okay. What do we got? Thanks, Morgan. Patty has a question. How do you get a variety of images for a photo shoot in a studio so that you have enough variety for like a photo album or photo book? Okay. Little secret here. I learned this when I worked at like a mall studio. And what you need to do in those situations is use at least 2 backdrops. So you might have like, I love doing a black backdrop, and then you can have like a side light, or even if you don't, it's just like this really clean, nice study of the animal. And so maybe you'll do a black backdrop, and maybe you do something completely different, like blue. And if you have time, even do a third backdrop. And then you have like your tight, middle, wide, epic, creative, if you can do epic in a studio, if it's a small dog or a big studio. And so, Patty, you've got your tight, middle, wide, epic, creative, or just the 4. And then you do that in both backdrops. Okay. But you also do that with all the different poses. So you might do tight, middle, wide, sitting, tight, middle, wide, laying down, tight, middle, wide, standing. And that's all on your black backdrop. And then you bring in an ottoman or a chair or a bright pop of color, something like that, or a basket. And then you try to get some creative shots in there and try to do tight, middle, wide again. So think about a 3 to 6 picture layout on each page of an album per se. And then you do that on another backdrop too. So the next backdrop, you'll have a different prop, and they'll end up laying or sitting differently. So this is just with one dog. When you have 2 dogs, you have even more possibilities. And then you might encourage them to like bring their favorite bandana, or maybe we'll do a little series with a favorite toy. If you remember seeing my 4-dog photo shoot with the Quaker Hound dogs, she brought in, these are Dutch dogs. So she brought in the little shoes, the clogs, and her kennel is called Silver Skates, I think. And so she brought in skates, and she brought in orange scarves for everybody. So we had almost too many options to choose from, but that's how you do it. So from the very basic is changing backdrops, and then you change posing benches, chairs, things like that. And then you change your props beyond that. So it could be pearls or a bow tie, something they're actually wearing, or it could be stuff around them, their favorite toys, their favorite blanket. Put the owners in there. And then the sitting can be sideways. It could be looking straight at the camera. There's so many ways you could do that too. And I don't work with very well-trained dogs. They're like just our regular dogs. Like my dog is not that great when it comes to like sit, stay, all that. I haven't done that much work. And so you could do all of this with family dogs that don't have a lot of training. So just keep in mind that tight, middle, wide, and creative. And if you're in a studio, you may not be able to do epic, right? But that's okay. Tight, middle, wide, sitting, standing, laying. So you've got 9 there. There's 9 photos. And do that on 2 backdrops. There's 18 photos. And then put them on a chair or a bench or a prop twice. So there's 36 photos. And then you have some where they have their favorite bandana on. Maybe there's 40. So in the end, and maybe they're licking or they're doing something silly in between shots. And then maybe we have one where the client is just reaching down to pet them if they don't want to be fully in the pictures. Add the people in there too. Oh my, that's even more. And so you can see how that slowly, like, exponentially builds up. Now, when you go to show your client, keep in mind, this is what happens in a sales session for me, is that you show them this many pictures and we can get it whittled down to half. So if you can get enough pictures that by the time they whittle it down to half, they only have to take away a few more and it's perfect amount for an album, which for me is about 25 to 30, depending on the size of the album. And so usually if I show them 80, they narrow it down to 40. I'll say, great. We just need to pick your favorite, let's say 30, and we've got an album. Since you already love these, we may as well just make an album out of that. So you can see how you could very easily get 80 photos out of just doing these things. I'm so excited about this. Good question, Patty. Really good question. Because what happens is we walk into this blank space and our mind sometimes goes blank. And then you can definitely make your own tear sheets. So if you find inspiration from places, make a little book or a little app on your phone or a little folder in your phone of all the inspiration from those too. Yeah. Maybe I should do a course on this too, because that was tough. I used to have to like draw sketches. This is how I want to do. Oh, and horizontal versus vertical too, Patty. So you could do all those horizontal versus vertical, which you can see like this picture of Libby. It looks very different as a horizontal because of the chair, or the vertical because of the chair I have her on. It looks so different. And when in the horizontals, I did this is a whole like her 11-year-old session that I did, and that is using a window light, by the way. Also, you want to do more pictures of dogs? Yeah. Oh my gosh. So when the shelters open back up again, of course, you'll get a lot of potential. Or if you just have family and people that you're close to, ask them to bring a dog over. Like people that you're already interacting with, might as well. If you want more dogs, people will do it. Say, I'm building my portfolio, or just have it be super casual. Like when I go visit my mom, I always take pictures of her dogs. Always. Last year, year before last, I did her Papillon out in her yard and I made a whole video about it. And we had this beautiful selection of photos for her. So whoever you know, and it's just, with COVID, it's been difficult. Yeah, Patty, I know exactly what you mean. It just totally goes blank. Yeah. But I tell you what happens is the more you practice and, get an idea of what you like and what you want, and you ask these questions and you get inspiration from others, the more you do that, the more you walk into a session and you just know, especially on a paid, like a client session where you've already met them. You've already talked to them about what's their vision like. Do they want something for over their fireplace, or do they want an album? Do they want something that can go in their office? What are they looking for? Do they want to be in the pictures? How many animals? Will all their animals be in the picture, or just the dogs, or just the cats? Stuff like that. Once you do your consult, you'll get a ton of ideas. Always do a consult, even if it's on the phone. And then you'll find that when you walk into that session, you'll be like, oh yeah. And I'm working with a business coach right now, and we were talking about this type of thing. And it's like, I own my zone. If I am unconfident anywhere else in my life, it's not when I walk in that session. Everything else melts away. And it's just the best. Like I have literally had a cold, like the end of a cold, and I've gone to a session and it wasn't there. That's how into my sessions I get. And then as soon as the session's over, I'm in my car on the way home, like, oh yeah, I think I had a cold, didn't I? Or a headache all the time. I'll be like, oh my gosh, this headache. And then I'll get to the session, it's completely gone. I get that much into the zone. And that comes with confidence of just having a lot of years working on it and just being excited about it. So I try to walk into every session like, I've got this. This is going to be so exciting. Even if I know my mind is blank, as soon as I walk in and we start talking and the dog starts doing cute things, you're like, yes, you do it, right? Everyone, do you all get in the zone? You got to own your zone. You get in the zone. It's phenomenal. I think everybody has something in their life that's like that, whether it's like reading a book. When I'm reading a book, like I'm in it, you know, it's just that. It's really cool. It's harder to do at the shelters. It's much, much harder at the shelters because it's more chaotic and you're doing one dog after another and you have helpers that you don't know and they don't know the dogs. And it's such a different feel. But when I do themed photos at the shelters, I'm in the zone. So it's a little bit different when I have like a goal. Patty, it's always good to have a plan, even with shooting at the shelter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, you've got in the zone. Yes, yeah. And so I think asking these questions, Patty, is great because then the more you like think about it, the more you'll retain it and it'll always be front of mind. And so when you walk in there, it'll just come to you. You will have that idea of what you could do. Live in a small town. I'm thinking of doing pictures there. Okay. What's holding you back? Do other people start businesses? Like, are there restaurants and clothing stores and everything else? Like, small towns need things too. I would say though, if you're gonna, okay, can I do something harsh for a second, Morgan? If you don't think your town will support a business, do not start a business there because you will forever be thinking it's your town's fault. But if you have a small town, like this is not a big town. I do not live in a big town. But if you have a town that loves their pets, that you think I can make this a go, or you live in a town that you could serve that town, but the next town over is bigger and you're willing to commute and you're willing to market to that town as well, then you've got this. So I don't see any reason why, no matter what town, as long as you're willing to look at it very critically and say, first off, do they value their pets? I'm in Colorado. They absolutely do. Portland, same way. There's a lot of dog friendly towns. But if you have a town that everyone's like, oh, they're barn dogs, you may not. People spend money on what they value. And if you're willing to say, okay, I might have to look outside my little area a little to make it work. But just don't go into it thinking that the town is going to just make or break you because it doesn't. It's just a town. Yeah. A quick story about that. My parents live on a fixed income, Social Security and VA benefits. My dad's a veteran. And so they don't have a lot of excess funds, but they have a dog that they absolutely love. And whatever the veterinarian says they need to do, they do it. Veterinarian says, okay, you need to get this dog's teeth cleaned or a blood test or whatever it is. They value their dog. They're going to get anything they need for that dog. Same with the farming that they do out there. If they need a tractor, they get the tractor. You know what I mean? So people spend money on what they value. So definitely take a look at that. I don't want to be harsh, Morgan, but I want you to know, like, I'm in so many groups where people say, but it can't possibly work because I'm in a small town. Well, then why'd you start a business there? Honestly. But if you go, it's a small town, but they don't have any other photographer. Morgan, you may be the only pet photographer. Oh my gosh, you could rise up so fast. Like everyone would be like, yes, finally we have a pet photographer. You don't know. I am pretty much the only pet photographer in this whole area. Like I live in one town. The other town that I started in is just next door. I'm pretty much it. Now, if you go down to Denver, which is just another 40-minute drive, 30-minute drive from me, or to Boulder, half an hour, bigger towns, way more photographers. I've got it. I've got it all right here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I hope it wasn't too harsh, Morgan, honestly. Because I think you can make it work. You just have to be willing to think outside the box, travel a little farther, offer different things, whatever it is. And know that it's going to take time. One of the things with photography that I have found, because I also photograph people, and people change, it seems, much faster than animals especially when they're younger, like they have little kids and stuff. So I had a family once that I'd photographed for 2 or 3 years, and I went on my walkabout trip. My life was chaotic at that time, I guess I would say. And she said, now you can't just move away. You are my photographer now. I need to know if you're going to be here every year. So I ended up photographing her family for like 4 years, well past when her kids graduated high school. And we didn't this year because COVID, but you got to think like people, once they find you, they keep you, but they also want to know you're going to be around. It took a while to just let people know my reputation. Like if I say I'm going to be here in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, I'm going to be here. And there's no barrier to entry besides having a camera for this type of work. And so people are kind of used to photographers coming and going and being not around. So it does take a while to gain that trust. Now, if you're already known in your town anyway for another business that you've had or something, I didn't when I moved to Colorado. I worked at the vet office, but that was it. I didn't know anybody else. So if you've had a reputation in town already as being an awesome, reliable person, probably already there. But I was kind of a newer town. Yeah. Yay. Panda. What's the difference if the photos goes over a fireplace or on a bedroom wall? So kind of what I was alluding to there was the size of the image. So if you can see right above me here, that particular photo shows the Rocky Mountains in the background, a big thunderstorm. In that session, we also had her horse. We brought in her horse right here later. So you can see how small the people are in there. And wouldn't that be phenomenal as one giant piece above a fireplace? It would be much harder to see all the details if it was a 5x7. The dogs would be this tiny. So I need to know sometimes when I go into the session, like, are you trying to fill a big space? Can we do an epic? Can we do the epic look with the mountains and the thunderstorm happening behind you and the truck in the field and all this cool Colorado look? Or is it going to be something that you'd like a closer up picture? Where am I? Here we go. Of like your dog or your cat, that you're going to put this more on a desk. The more the animal fills the frame a little bit more. So it'll be easier to see when the picture's smaller. And then another thing to think about is, okay, so they really want an album. So you want to make sure you get a lot of in between kind of outtakes and tongue licking and funny things and a lot more pictures. I usually photograph enough either way. Most of my clients don't buy albums, but you want to have that in mind just in case, because a lot of times they have so many, they can't decide. And then another thing is sometimes people know they want to make a whole collection on their wall. Like the family with the 6 dogs and the cat, we're building a collection for her wall. That's the whole group shot in the middle and then individual smaller pictures around the dog for this entry wall that they have, or around the group shot, right? So you can picture that. So big group shot, which is a bigger picture because there's littler dogs, it's like all these little dogs filling it, and then individual portraits of the dogs around them. So that's why I think, doing the consult is so valuable. But honestly, I still kind of shoot the same way. Unless they're like, oh, I really love the album idea, then I'll make sure I get even more of those outtakes in there. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. Yeah. And that usually comes up more with family sessions. If I have a lot of people in there, they want to showcase that more in their living room. Sometimes when you take a dog like Libby right here, she was 5 pounds. She was very small. And to have her over a fireplace would be so out of scale that it would be a little bit jarring. So I wouldn't have put that there in my living room above a fireplace. Unless it was an epic landscape type of thing, then potentially. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm thinking in that sense. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we've gone 8 minutes over. Oh, the timer's up here too. If y'all have last minute questions, I'm going to stay on a couple more minutes. I know there's a lag when you type in your questions. It's been so wonderful to see everyone. I hope you're having an okay start to the year. It's going to get better. The year is definitely going to get better. I want to keep up with all of you. So, stay tuned here and in the Facebook group and the email list, all the things I've been showing you, the Facebook group, bit.ly ProPetPhotogFB or ProPetPhotog for the email group as well. And if you have any individual questions, I'm always happy to answer them here on my main studio email. And be watching this page because I will go live once a month. This was kind of a nice opportunity to go live on the 1st. So maybe we'll just keep it there. Yeah. but you'll know. I'll put it in the newsletter. Don't you worry. And I love to see all of your work. So don't be shy about posting questions or pictures over in the Facebook group as well. Yeah, definitely love seeing that. Because sometimes, it's like I'm kind of feeling down or, uninspired. And then I see one of your pictures. I'm like, ooh, that's a cool idea. That's a funny look. It just brightens my day. It really does to see everybody interacting in there. So super, super, super great to see everyone and hanging in there with me. I appreciate it. Celebrate with me soon when we're getting up to that 1,000 subscriber. I'm going to have a special video for you all and you're going to love it. We're going to celebrate. I'm going to try to get Steve in there too. And I really hope you enjoy this Friday's video. It's a little bit close to my heart. You'll see why. And so be on the watch out for that. Okay, what else do I have here? Oh, every time I sign off a video, what do I say, everyone? You could say it with me from home if you would like. As always, I wish you many woofs, purrs, and TREATSs. Okay, good to see everyone. Have a wonderful week. Okay, we'll see you soon. Okay, bye.